Normally this is what Foxhole looks like, and this is what it looks like in third person. I recently made a video where we went over what Foxhole looked like in first person. Players found a way to alter the game using the Unreal Engine virtual reality program. This gave players the ability to use a VR headset to play Foxhole in first person. We got some really interesting perspectives from the first person view. We also had some great discussions in the comments section about how cool Foxhole would be in first person, and what the devs would need to change in the game to make it work. If you haven't checked out that video, I will leave a link in the description below. Today though, we are going to be looking at Foxhole and what it would look like from the third person perspective. I feel like nowadays games are pretty divided on whether a game should be in first person or third person. Each style has its pros and cons. As you can see, playing Foxhole in the third person view significantly alters the gameplay experience, presenting both opportunities and challenges. I believe that playing in this format does not give players any advantage over other players that aren't playing from the third person perspective, at least from what I can tell. We had a long discussion about this in the comments during the first person perspective video. In Foxhole, other players and vehicles don't render until you have come within a certain distance, which means that even though players playing in the third person and the first person can see the landscape and farther out than the top-down perspective players, it does not give these players any advantage. Third person and first person players will not see other players and vehicles before the top-down players see them. This is not intentional by the devs because the devs did not create Foxhole to be a third person or first person game. This is just how the game currently works. Playing in third person in Foxhole honestly feels really strange and weird. I've never been a big fan of third person games, so maybe that's why I feel that way. I remember long ago playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground when it first came out, and it started out as a third person perspective. I had always wished that they would switch it to first person, which they eventually did. I also never got into Fortnite because I hated the third person viewpoint. I grew up on games like Halo and Call of Duty and always wanted to be playing a shooter in first person. Playing Foxhole in third person really doesn't make you feel more immersed like first person does. In first person, you get to experience these battles and environments up close. It feels more realistic, like Hell Let Loose or Squad. The controls in first person and third person can be quite difficult to manage as well, mainly because the game was not meant to be played like this, so you have to tweak and alter the controls a lot to make them work decently. Playing in third person or first person might actually look cool, but what you can do in the game is very limited. You can see in this video that enemy vehicles do not render on the bridge until the player is close enough. And aiming and firing in third person is even worse than first person.
Good cover, good cover.
Yeah, wow.
Good down, good down. Push, push, push.
Push.
It can make some situations look really cool and cinematic, like looking up at this bridge.
We need infantry support, G10. If you see good grenades, immediately go back.
Not being able to rotate the camera around easily also makes it difficult to see what's behind you.
Yeah.
Ah, it's got me.
The vehicles look a lot cooler when you're in third person though. They look so much bigger and it's awesome to see. Again, you can see running up to the bridge that some players are not rendered in until you get within a certain distance, so you really can't see further than other players or have any sort of advantage.
You get the one on the left.
From this angle, you can't even really see what you're shooting.
Next pushing right.
I did think this angle looked really cool as you were shooting down on enemies. Using the UI to pick up items seems really difficult and puts you at a huge disadvantage. Charging up the bridge like in this situation looks really cool as you follow the push gun up and things blow up all around you. The camera can also be really shaky from this angle. It honestly kind of makes me sick just watching some of this movement. I'm just going to keep bringing this up because people in the first person video didn't quite understand, but you can see that this vehicle does not render until the player is within a certain distance of it. If it wasn't for the ugly skybox in the background, this would be a really cool shot. I also really liked this explosion and it caught me off guard. Being a medic seems super difficult because you have to aim in the correct spot to save someone. I love this visual of running through the trenches. This is one of the few parts that made it feel more immersive. I also loved seeing the emplacement gun. Kind of like the vehicles, it's awesome to just see how big things really are. When playing from the top-down perspective, you never really get a good sense of how big things actually are in the game. This was another really cool cinematic shot of soldiers fighting over a hill. Unfortunately, again, it was ruined by the ugly skybox. Watching the fire rockets go into the sky is really cool. Except of course with the ugly skybox. I should mention that players can set this angle up through the VR mod, or they can get glitched into it by accident.
Help! Help! Please, you gotta help me. It's my camera. My camera. Help me. My camera. I'm stuck in third person, bro. Help me. This is fucking crazy. I'm tripping, bro. You're all vanished.
When you zoom in for aiming, it really messes with your camera when you accidentally get stuck in this perspective. Being on a boat in third person seems really fun. I would love to do this on a bigger ship with this view.
Okay, is there an ability to reproduce this? Can I reproduce this, bro? Can I please reproduce this?
You kinda can, but like you need a VR set. And
Yeah, I've seen the VR thing.
yeah, but like I downloaded it. I don't have a
This
VR.
is so
I
cool.
thought like you can just like set up the
As you can see from this video, even the trees don't render in very well from this viewpoint. Again, putting players at this perspective at a disadvantage. Overall, I don't think I would want to play Foxhole in third person. I would much rather try it in first person or stick with the top-down perspective. The top-down perspective is what makes Foxhole unique in my opinion. What do you think about Foxhole in third person? Do you think it's still something players would want to try? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Foxhole content. I'll see you out on the battlefield. Cheers.